All right, good morning, Louisiana. This is Attorney General Jeff Landry, joined by our Chief Deputy, Bill Stiles, Brandon at the control board.
Yes, sir. I got it. Yes, sir.
And we got the Hickson Hazard hotline wide open for.
That's right. I wonder if does Dallas listen?
No, I think
in between selling cars.
Yeah, I think Dallas has to listen to Moon enough. I think they have a personal relationship there. That, I don't know that he wants to listen to him on the radio.
Well, we appreciate the Hickson Hazard hotline, and of course, on the Hickson Hazard hotline right now is just a good friend of mine, just a true community leader and a man of God. Pastor Tom Shepard. Tom.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing good, brother. How about yourself?
Good morning. I'm doing great. We wanted to get you on to talk about some of the things that you and our office, Louisiana Department of Justice, are doing in order to help educate parents and guardians on the risk out there, in this cyber world that our kids are living in. Because Bill will tell you, I'm going to quote him, right? So if this gets me in trouble, Millet, it's Bill quote. Bill says that the most dangerous thing we can put in a child's hands or in any juvenile's hands is a cell phone.
That's correct. I think I really believe that, Joe.
There really isn't.
Way more powerful than a handgun.
And so, so why don't you talk about this is your opportunity to kind of talk about what we've been doing.
Sure. Well, I sit on the Morals and Ethics Committee for the Louisiana Baptist Convention, so I'm in front of and helping about 1,400 churches in the state of Louisiana, from Shreveport all the way down to New Orleans. And so this data comes to my desk that we go through, and the pornography and the exposure to pornography to kids and the ages that they're now exposed to is massively alarming. And I thought to myself, the newest statistics are children now between the ages of 12 and 18, 95% have been exposed to hardcore pornography at least one time in a week, and girls are now at 68% between 12 and 18. When I was a kid, you had dirty magazines that were in that little store that was way across town, and you had to go out of your way to be exposed to that. But the phones and the subculture of the social media has infringed and come through the back door into our homes. So as a pastor in a church with, we have up over 600 members in our church now, and it is continuing to grow. There's 2 other campuses we feed to. I am constantly seeing and constantly doing counseling for these parents where these kids are coming up and coming away with these ideas on the increase on the violence in regard to sexuality, homosexuality, and all these other areas that all of a sudden are becoming more prevalent. And I'm asking myself, how does this child come to this conclusion? And I found out about Jeff's team on cyber crime, and I started looking at some of the stuff and started digging into the social media, and the exposure is happening in this subculture that's created by students within Snapchat and Instagram, Tumblr, these areas where they get to, and they go to their peers for advice that they are Googling and getting advice from these things that are oftentimes aired or oftentimes not a guy or a peer at all, but maybe an adult who is a perpetrator who is getting at these kids, and they're giving them these advice, and they're walking away with believing this is truth. So truth now has become relative. It is not absolute. There's no moral absolute. These children are making decisions based off of this relative thing that feels good for the moment, so it must be okay. And so we have in our own church, when I polled our church, 72% of our kids believe that what's not necessarily right for them is right for you. They believe in a relativistic idea of truth. And so when they're exposed to social media and all that is on it, and the advice they get there from other peers and other people who may not have a basis of truth there, they are walking away with conclusions that are creating great problems in the counseling world, in the church world, in our communities, and that just fired me up. I wanted to to expose that. So we created a deal called the Subculture in Social Media, and I called Jeff, and man, I thank God that he's a godly guy and a family guy, and he is focused that way. And he said, man, we got a team that does that stuff. And we did an event here in June, and it was so successful within the parents as far as opening their eyes. They were blown away. So now in August, we are going to do a summit, August 25th, where Dr. Will Hall, who is on the Morals and Ethics Committee for the convention, myself, we're getting Gene Mills in here from the Louisiana Family Forum. We're going to get Jeff in there and address these things to the community and open it up to the community and say, hey, let's make you aware of what's going on.
Well, thank you, Pastor. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll encourage other people around the state to put on the same type of program that you're putting on. It's very informative, and appreciate you taking your time this morning. Again, coming up next is our all-star, capped off big guest, the Attorney General, Jeff Landry, Jeff Sessions. Mm-hmm. All right, coming up next